Let's face it, guys. Black women have been talking about the lack of protection that they get from us the last 10 years. So much so that there are many people on TikTok, many people on YouTube that are even telling black men that these black women are wasting their time with men like us and they should go elsewhere because they are not going to get what they want from black men. They won't get the protection, the kids won't be provided for, they won't have economic sustainability, so they might as well go out there and get another man, preferably a white guy by the name of Brad. But now let's talk about Chess Charday. She's made some pretty good videos regarding this topic on TikTok, and there are two that I really want to get into today. And the first concept is that black women want protection from black men, but at the same time, they want to compete against that entity for the same protection. So I want to go ahead and deal with the first clip, and then I'll come back and deal with another one.
If black women actually want protection from black men, then we have to be willing to listen to them. You know, online, this whole gender war thing is pretty popular, but if we're serious about protection, then we cannot be in competition with or fighting with the men that we say we need protection from. So I think we have to ask ourselves whether or not we have created a culture where men's perspective and their point of view is even valid or is even taken into consideration. So I think it's really important, especially as women who feel that we are not protected. We got to ask ourselves, well, why? Are we even listening when men are saying, hey, danger, hey, don't do that, hey, that's unsafe? Are we even listening to them, or are we arguing? I think these are all the questions that we need to ask ourselves, and ultimately understand that a part of gaining protection or gaining protection from men is also understanding that you're in a relationship that is full of respect, mutual respect, where you respect him and he respects you.
So now I want to play this particular clip about black women voting the protection away, and then let's get a bigger framework from that, and then we'll kind of break it down.
So we've all heard by now the common complaint that black women as a collective are not being protected by their men. Now, what is rarely talked about, however, is the fact that we as black women actually voted their protection away. Now, what do I mean by this? Black women are the most feminist. By and large, we overwhelmingly vote for feminist policies. And under a feminist framework, men and women are equal. They should have, equal opportunities, equal access to jobs, to pay, to positions of power, things of that nature. Men and women are essentially to be put on an equal framework. Now, under that, why would you need protection from somebody that you are equal to? Why would you need protection to somebody who is essentially equivalent to you? That will be considered misogynist. That will be considered disrespectful to a woman's ability to maintain and protect herself. And so we have to be honest about the fact that this is the kind of culture or framework that we did create. And now, fast forward decades later, where things are a lot more feminist than ever, and women do have a lot of opportunities, and they are put in positions to compete with men. Now it creates this complicated framework in relationships. But here is the bigger picture. The reason that we are not protected as black women is because we voted that we didn't need protection. By coming into agreement with some of those different laws, and by again putting us in positions to be more and more equal or equivalent standing with men, we in essence said we're the same. We are just as capable of doing all these things. And so again, I ask you the question: if you are able or capable, why then ask for protection from the very men that you are equal to? And this is why, under this framework, this is why under the current structure, we cannot expect for a community or collective of black women that we have essentially said that we are just as equal to. We can't expect them to now operate under a traditional framework, but we are now under a modern setup. Apart from maybe a husband or a family or maybe a close-knit community, that community framework that we're looking for, it doesn't really work or operate under this, capitalistic, individualistic, feminist structure that we currently have today. And I think this is just something that we're going to have to reckon with.
All right, so now that we've seen both videos, let's deal with it and synthesize everything as a concept. The first concept, Chess Charday talks about the fact that black women want protection from black men, yet you want to be a competing force. You want to be an equal, yet you want protection. Instead of trying to understand what you need to do to gain that protection as a woman, or understand what issues the men may have, it's not important to you. Therefore, you're not effectively able to communicate what you want. Now, let me just say this. This is something that happens a lot, and it's a big problem, a big communication gap that happens between men and women all over the world, but especially in the black community. On average, many black men feel like whatever their input is, it's worthless. Nobody cares. But the only people that should have an input are women. So in other words, your wants, your needs, your desires, the issues that you may need to compromise in order to basically get the job done for black women, it doesn't matter, which in turn would make a black man not want to offer the protection that you're asking for. And then at the same time, you're trying to be competing with the same man that you want protection from, which is never going to work, because a man needs to feel like you're on the same page as him and he's leading you and he's protecting you with his work. He's protecting you physically, emotionally, and things like that. But he's not going to be in that frame of mind if you are also hitting him with the same sort of masculine energy that he needs to protect you. Now, in the second clip, she broke down very masterfully as what is going on, right? What did she say, guys? She said black women voted their equality away. Now, at one point you say that you don't need these guys and that you are doing as well or better than them. So what are you seeing as a result? You're seeing that more women wanted to become more equal with these men, which is what we're seeing. How many comments do we see? Hey, you know, black women, we're the most educated. We are doing better than you guys. And so black men are not necessarily trying to fight that idea. Although I do believe that because of the work that black men may do, they may earn more money. But what are you seeing? You're seeing a lack of apathy of the protection of women. We even see it now when, you know, you watch certain world star hip hop videos, you know, or if you see, you know, some of the violent statistics, you're not seeing men jump into danger as much anymore to help women out, because society has taught men that, hey, they're equal. But the thing about it is that the voting policies that black women have taken over the last 40 years, they never expected that it would change the attitude of men, and it has. So now you're seeing all these things that you're getting, that you've gotten because of what's been going on with the, you know, progressive feminism and ideology. But the thing is that you still believe that some man's going to be out there wanting to protect all of that, when you've been saying that you don't need him and that you're just as equal as we are. So men are saying, okay, well, you're just as equal as me. Go ahead and do everything yourself. And the women are complaining about it. But why are you complaining about the same decisions that you voted for? That is the situation. Again, it goes back to women not understanding what makes men tick. And it doesn't matter. It only matters what makes women tick, right? But then when you want something from men and you want to have a benefit from men, you don't even understand what you're dealing with. You don't understand even how to talk to them, how to even position things. And men need to be talked to and respected in the right way for them to be able to carry out the functions that you would like them to have. Men need to be motivated, especially black men. Black men have to be motivated in the black community to do things. If it's building businesses, now obviously you're gonna say, well, why are they not motivated to do it for themselves? And I can get that. But as far as black men wanting to do things for themselves, the difference is a lot of black men don't need much. You can be a man and get a 1-bedroom apartment and maybe achieve like $80,000, $90,000 a year, and you don't necessarily care about being rich. Whereas if you had a house, a family, you would care a lot more about that. You would put more effort into that. So you're seeing men not optimizing their potentials because they don't need to anymore. Where's the family to do so? And there's no reason to do it because you're gonna feel like, well, most women don't respect me, so why am I wasting my particular time here? But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. Make sure you check out Chess Sade. First comment pinned to the top. We're out.